Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome back to La Molina here in lovely sunny Spain for another day of the World Para-Alpine Skiing World Cup. My name's Stephen James and I'll be with you all day providing the coverage and the interviews as well from the slopes here in La Molina. Another fantastic day ahead of us. We had a day off competition yesterday as the athletes geared up for a crucial 10 days or so as the final couple of days comes to a close here in La Molina and we head to Morzine for the World Cup finals. Ahead of some more Giant Slalom today, let's take a look back when we were last on these slopes. Down at the finish with our winners. Mel, Bobby, congratulations on today. Tomorrow's a day off, which I know because you flew from Australia not too long ago. You're probably really excited for. How much are you excited for it? Have you got anything special planned?
Sleeping in, definitely, and just getting out and trying to be active, kind of having a relaxing day. Like you said, just came over from Australia, so we're both still pretty jet lagged.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alan. Down at the finish line for the final time today and joined again. You've seen him in his face a few times this year. You're in Campshire. Back to your best today. We saw a big mistake from you in the first run yesterday. You gave it everything to try and get back to it in the second run, but this was a lot more complete today. Did yesterday annoy you a little bit? Were you wanting that sense of revenge?
Of course it annoyed me a bit, but despite the big mistake, I still got a podium. So I was really happy about that. But yeah, today was all for the top of the podium, and I got it. I'm really happy about that. And one mistake in the first run, but everybody was having trouble there. In second run, I think because of the sun, we got a little more grip on the snow, so it was not as slippery.
So there we see the winners of our last run here in La Molina 48 hours or so ago. And the conditions here on the course today are a lot chillier than what we've been used to. We've almost experienced summer conditions here in the winter here in La Molina. You can see when you're here the slopes, there's not much snow on them. The slope on the course has been utterly magnificent. The skiers have loved it, but today it is cold, bitterly cold in fact. -3 with a real wind chill as well. Feels a lot more like winter here in Spain, what we were expecting when we came here to La Molina. The skiers are already raring to go. They've had a day off and they can't wait to get back into action, and we can't wait to watch them. It's over to our race commentator, Alan March, to guide you through.
Good morning, Stephen Jameson. Good morning, everybody, wherever you are watching the coverage of day number 3. Yep, a day off means the athletes are ready and raring to go. You can see some of them making their way up to the top. Right, now, if you want to get in touch with us via the usual social media links, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, you can do that very easily by using the hashtag #ParaAlpine, the @ParaAlpine, to follow all of those channels as well. Stephen said, a little bit different today, not the snowfall that the locals were hoping for, but the weather at least has dropped below the minus marker. -3 this morning, however it does warm up again tomorrow according to the local weather forecast. 32 gates being attacked, set this morning by Finland's Roman Rosman. And that is the 6 events that will take place as standard. 3 for the men, 3 for the women. And we do have a bigger start list than normal for all of our events today. 59 athletes taking part here on day number 3. Aigner joins Perrine and Fitzpatrick. And if you are not familiar with the World Cup circuit so far, then eyes peeled for Veronika Aigner of Austria. Whilst we've seen a lot of Perrine and Fitzpatrick, the sisters Aigner might be ready to throw us a surprise. Too young to compete at the World Championships. He is now 16. Not quite timed that one right. Dominant in Zagreb at the World Cup right at the beginning of the season. And you feel like she was only there to demonstrate what she could do, because since then we've not been able to see much of her due to home commitments. But as I said, recently turning 16, guided by her sister Elizabeth. Siblings Barbara and Johannes also competing in para-Alpine as well. Yeah, Aigner will set the first time without difficulty. 57.86 for the very entertaining Veronika Aigner. You'll notice there's no start gate at the beginning of the course. The wind at the top is fiercer than it has been in previous days, so the starting gate has gone, so it doesn't blow away. Now Melissa Perrine finding herself 1.22 seconds down, the current World Cup leader. Silver medalist at the World Champs behind Henrietta Farkasova. Get well soon to Henrietta. Injured during the final stages of the World Championships. Perrine tucking in. Well, that shows you just how good Veronika Aigner is, the silver medalist in the World Championships. Well over a second down. Now these two will definitely be wanting to put to one side what happened on day number 2. They didn't even get this far. Just a few gates in, and the left ski came unattached to the left boot of Menna Fitzpatrick. And it was a very quick day for the British pairing. They've got over it, they've dealt with it. These two, very intuitive. Picking up Pyeongchang medal despite the failure of the Bluetooth in their headset during one race. Showing you the synchronicity of the pair of them. And Fitzpatrick hits the line, and she's behind Aigner as well. Well, there's a smile. It's second for Fitzpatrick. Jen Keogh, the guide. So there we go. Perrine and Bobby Kelly in third. Menna Fitzpatrick and Jennifer Keogh in second. Elizabeth and Veronika Aigner lead the way. The youngsters doing as we expected. There's a new dawn in women's VI. That's how it feels. The rest of the field need to pick up the pace. Like women standing next. A couple of new names for you this week. At the bottom, Manimol, very experienced Spaniard, and a World Cup debut for Raquel Martinez Muniz. We'll get to Muniz a little later. First up, World Championship silver medalist Alana Ramsey. So in different first 2 days. We know the quality that Ramsey possesses. 24-year-old Calgary. I mean, standing at the moment, probably the most dominated of all classifications. Maddie Boucher coming next, having won all of the World Championships gold medals that were on offer. Has been pretty dominant in the World Cup as well. Through the line comes Ramsden. 60.15 is the time to beat. Here is Boucher. Already 1.2 seconds clear, make that 3.63. Boucher flying. Again, Boucher's impairment on her left side. Not enough to change the time factor, so 100% is how the clock will run. There's no problem for Boucher. She comes in 53.12. That is 7 seconds clear of the World Championship silver medal winner. What a run that is. Blimey. You often forget that Boucher is still in her mid-20s just. Mel Pemble, second of the 3 Canadians to go, the third coming up in a moment as well. Pemble originally born in the United Kingdom. Competed in Pyeongchang. How close will Pemble be? 1:02.72, so some 9.6 seconds back from the leader Boucher. Now this lady would have been extremely frustrated at not finishing on day 2, having come second on the opening day. A little behind at the opening intermediate time. Where will she be at the second? Even Turgeon is struggling with the pace. 1.5 back. Heads towards the line, it's quick, darting into that final gate, 55.11, that's much better and competitive for Boucher to think about in the second run. Ali Kunkel picked up a World Cup medal on Tuesday. 17-year-old. Doesn't feature much on the circuit, has been to world champs before and to Pyeongchang, of course. Heading home for the national championships coming up fairly soon, back in the United States. Here with her dad in support. She says that mum will be watching back at home as he clatters the penultimate gate and gets through into third place. Then 5.24 seconds back for the youngster. Bina Schmidt from Switzerland. Able to use a ski pole in either hand, Bina. Time 96. 72. Years old. Already 5.77 seconds back. We want to stay within 8 or 9 seconds really, but that's going to be a tough ask. Oh, just 8.94. Ami Hondo. Distinctive pink helmet for Hondo. Also 22, like Schmid. Also quite a way back in the early stages as well. Drops to 3.44 now. Surprise World Championship bronze medal winner. Little slide through that section from Hondo as she comes towards the line. That's third position. That's a good run from the Japanese athlete. From Tokoro Ozawa. This is Ana Maria Rida. Who is just 18. Of the really young contingent. Podium places at the moment, 57.53 from Hondo. The time to beat, that's around about where Ana Maria Rida will be hoping to be. Certainly contending with Ali Kunkel. Seen quite a bit of Rida on the circuit this season. 53 is gone. She pick up some speed here as she hits the line into 5th position then, just behind Ali Kunkel. And the standard scream as she leaves the start gate from Ursula Marimon. Every athlete has their thing. That's Marimon's. Single leg skier from Spain. It's the first time we've seen Spanish athletes during this contest here in La Molina. There was a little extra buzz about the volunteers this morning as they were coming in. They realised there were some Spanish athletes taking part here. We've got Raquel Muniz to come next. We do the circuit now without Jon Santacana Mestegui, great representative of Spain throughout the years in the men's VI. Marimon gets across, 12.66. She'll have a sit down for a second. This is Martinez Muniz. Raquel, without the use of ski poles in either hand. She's 27. Helps her siblings run a tourism company for outside activities. Born with cerebral palsy, it affects her arms and her legs. Also had a couple of pieces of surgery on her hips a couple of years back. Genital hip dislocation. Raquel Martinez Muniz. defying her impairments, and skiing down a mountain here locally. 1:22.98. And that's her World Cup debut. So well done to Raquel. So Boucher, as is standard at the moment, leads from Turgeon, Hondo, Kunkel and Rida. All of those inside 60 seconds. The battle for the podium places is on. Will Boucher make a mistake? Can Turgeon find something huge to make up the gap? Find out in the second run, won't we? Women's sitting, no additions to this category today. Muraoka, Stevens, Forster and Van Bergen go again. Reigning world and Paralympic champion gets us underway. A year ago today we were all in Pyeongchang, and this is where Muraoka started, although she's made a mistake early doors here. That slowed her down somewhat. Yeah, a year ago exactly, Muraoka took the title in front of Linda van Impelen and Claudia Loesch. Both have gone on to retire from the sport, along with the great Stephanie Victor. So it is a category that needs an influx of new athletes. Schaffelhuber, of course, competing at World Championship level. But here on the World Cup, Muraoka has been in very, very good form. She should be wearing the leader bib by my reckoning, but she's not. She's just wearing number 14. Across the line she comes.
57.31, the first time of the day for Japan's Momoka Muraoka, the winner of the two.
This is Chris Stevens. Paul start to this run, 0.56 down, but Stevens will know that Muraoka is not the target, especially the other places at the moment for these ladies are key. Muraoka in search of the overall globe is going to be an easy winner. Most of these ladies looking for some self-improvement. Stevens with a big slide there, having to work quite hard in this bottom section, but the former Paralympic champion gets across. 8.78 is the difference. This is Annalena Forster. Just inside. Forster has been competing with Muraoka at times. Remember, Muraoka had a struggle at the top, so that's the chance where the rest of the athletes have got to put some pressure on her. Forster finding herself 1/10 of a second back after the second intermediate. 23-year-old. Slalom coming up for the rest of the week. That's her Pyeongchang gold medal. And she's 2 seconds back from Muraoka, reigning Paralympic champion of Giant Slalom. Barbara van Bergen. Despite being 40, she's come to Alpine a little later, having taken part in wheelchair basketball for the Netherlands to good success over previous years. Paralympic bronze medalist twice. wheelchair basketball, both in London and in Rio. Weather's felt a little bit like Rio in previous days here in La Molina. Van Bergen hits the line in 1:05.47. So that's third place for now. That is the 4 ladies in the sitting event. That's all the women done for day 3 for now. Second run's coming up later, but it's Muraoka in charge. Forster in second. Van Bergen in third position ahead of Stevens. The battle for bronze is on. Not much between Stevens and Van Bergen there. Can Forster find something extra? She's already 2 seconds back on Muraoka. Additional name on day 3 for the men's giant slalom then in the VI category, Neil Simpson, along with his brother Andrew, join the list of familiar names, including the world champion then. This is Marek Kubacka. Some questions coming in on the social media channels about the VI athlete. So 3 different classifications within the category. B1 have blacked out goggles. There is no sight through those goggles whatsoever, no light, nothing. It's because the athletes themselves are registered with the lowest visual acuity of the 3, B2 and B3. B3 having the highest vision. That doesn't mean that it's that easy for the B3s to win. The vision is factored. So you see here Marek Kubacka's factored time is 61.27. That means the clock is manipulated to that calculation. So his clock runs somewhat slower than a normal stopwatch. Keep your eyes peeled on the rest of the field as we go through. B2s and B3s still to come in this. He is the World Cup leader, he's the world champion, which goes to show you the quality of guiding that comes from Maria Zatovikova. With Maria and Marek, it's completely following the sound of the speaker that's on the back of Maria Zatovikova's backpack. And across the line comes Kubacka, 52.67. Second on day 1, winner on day 2 in front of Javeos. Is that enough for Kubacka to lead after the first run? We'll find out. Number 19. Well, that bib belongs to Hyacinth Delaplace from France. His guide is Maxime Jourdain. Day 1 was great for Hyacinth. He got a first ever World Cup victory. In fact, pushing the world champion down into second place. Day 2 was the complete opposite. Crashed out very, very early. If you've got any more questions at Para Alpine, use the hashtag Para Alpine as well, and we'll try and answer those as we go along. So Delaplace is a B2 athlete. That's the middle ground when it comes to vision in this VI category. It's already 1.68 seconds back. 29-year-old has congenital cataracts. He's been competing in athletics for quite a while. Now, unlike Zatovikova and Kubacka, the instructions come via the Bluetooth headset. The guide will be visible to a degree. The instructions enable the pair to get down. Delaplace in towards the line there. He's going to be behind, 1.52. Some real improvements coming from the Frenchman. Anybody else was happy with the improvement on day 2 would have been Miroslav Hradeus. Hradeus guided by Maros Hudik. Oh, and it's another fall for Miroslav. It's just like day 1 all over again as he slides out, trying to put the brakes on. It's a slippy old course, so he's gone a long way there. And again, athletes in the VI category not being able to fully assess what's around them as they do that slide. And, well, it's a second DNF from 3 days on the Giant Slalom for Miroslav Hradeus. He just seems like a bunny hop. The legs flailing apart, and then at this point, Hradeus, again, a VI athlete, just having to take his time to try and assess what was around him. But as he comes to a halt with his guide some way down the course, he seems absolutely fine. So Kubatska from De La Place at the moment, with Hradeus going out so far. Have a look, another look back here. Just starts to coming to his right hand side. As he turns to his left here, everything's seemingly okay. Just hits a bump. Nothing you can do about that. I think even some of the non-VI skiers might have struggled with that moment. So with one of the big names gone, another chance for Kevin Burton to find his way onto a podium, but he, like Miroslav Hradeus, did DNF on day 1, having to correct his balance a moment ago as well. Oh, and then Burton's gone again. Just catching the gate with his right ski. Well, anything Hradeus could do, Kevin Burton could do as well. So out goes the American for a second time in 3 days as well. I'll look back at Kevin Burton. I already said he'd had a little bit of a wobble just before this, and oh, yeah, just doesn't quite get the angle as he needs it. His right ski's on the inside of the gate. Well, there's a smile there. Kevin Burton and Kurt Grummelman might be glad to see the back of the Giant Slalom events. Just chatting with someone as they wait for one of the skis to come back. Some people might say that they need to get off quicker, but you do have to wait for your skis. Kevin Burton been reunited with his apparel, and I'm sure the action will get back underway fairly soon. Hanging around too long here, less than 60 seconds before we get going again. Burton and Grimmelman just debriefing, I'm sure, on what just happened. High up on the mountains of the Roc Blanc course here in northern Spain, part of the Catalan region. 2 hours and 12 minutes to be precise, if you follow the speed limit, from Barcelona, just over an hour away from Andorra, a shopping paradise, so I'm told. Haven't made it that far yet, but I will. Again, you can see from the outskirts of the pictures just how little snow there is left in the region. The locals will tell you this is very rare. They have snow until late March quite happily normally. So even they're surprised by the levels of heat and the lack of snow. But the course itself has been done brilliantly. Now these two, it's all about learning for athletes. Nothing is ever straightforward, and Thomas Savard and his guy Kevin Lemay suffered just that the other day. They finished the first run on Tuesday in their second run. They finished on the podium in the opening day. They'd been looking to do that again in the second event. However, they were disqualified after the first run because the guide went across the line more than 2 gates ahead of his athlete. So you can be quite far away. You see from the shots that Lemay does get away from Savard, but you're not allowed to be more than 2 gates width. And at the finish the other day, you see Lemay slows down. He finished the other day, Lemay was too far ahead. Now British pairing of Neil Simpson and Andrew Simpson. Haven't seen them over the opening few days. I think they arrived a little later than the rest, and this will be a run with the slalom in mind. Now look at the synchronization of these two. A lot closer than the French pairing. Simpson's already had some success on the Europa Cup circuit. Again, still fairly young. His brother having to balance his university studies as well as trying to guide his brother Neil down courses. So sometimes it's not the brother pairing, but Neil and Andrew going well at the moment. Everything being done in tandem. Don't adjust your TVs. This is brilliant from the Simpsons, and they'll hit the line. Yes, 10 seconds back, but there's loads of improvements that can be made there in the two of them. Well, they've already got it down in terms of following. Can they get faster? That's the question that remains. With 2 DNFs, it's down to 4 of them to fill the podiums, but you have to fancy that the world champion looked very, very good in the opening stages there. The ultimate guiding experience, blacked out goggles, listening for the sound of the instructions. And after nearly a decade of being together, these two are amazing. Men's standing coming up. Marchais and Camus. It hasn't always been about those two here in La Molina. The rest of the field will be hoping to contribute once again. Christophe Berghard Snyder. He's first to go then, the 26-year-old. And his right arm crushed in a sawmill back in 2013. He was initially told his hand would be amputated above the wrist, but 6 operations already meant to a partial amputation on his right hand, so still means he's unable to use the ski pole in that right hand. But in terms of physical impairments for the rest of his body, it means the factored time is 100% for Snyder as he hits the line. Missed out on Kim Chang due to injury. Getting stronger all the time. Lindström. Another that falls into the bracket of young and learning. Just 18. Aaron Lindström. Similar age to Marchais and Kiveri. He's inside the opening time of Snyder. He stretched that as well, the young Swede. There's a congenital limb impairment which affects his left hand and forearm, but again, not significant enough to change the factored time that he has, and he is quicker over our Giant Slalom course run 1 than Snyder by a full second as well. Martin Wirtz is back on the circuit. Not seen him for the opening couple of days. I was hoping to see Yusuf Lana, part of the men's VI, but he kept his appearances to the World Championships. The Austrians do have a good depth when it comes to their squad, and certainly the VI categories over the next few years might belong to the Austrians. To Lana and Eichner putting in some good performances. Quite a few people missing from the men's VI this season. Bertagnoli, Krakow, Mac Marcoux in recent events, but Martin Wirtz here getting across the line, 1.12 seconds back on Lindström. There are likeable characters on the World Cup circuit, and then there are really likeable characters on the World Cup circuit. In all, Thomas Walsh falls into the second category. I'll tell you what he falls into now. He's a rage. He will be furious. His ski comes unhooked, and you can see just how disappointed Thomas Walsh was. Well, he won't care how nice I think he is. He will be bitterly disappointed. Drops into this right, easy left. Oh, it just hits a bump. And I tell you what, great balance, great strength on the left side, but look at the frustration oozing out of Thomas Walsh. Give it 10 minutes, he'll find his smile again. Well, saw this young man at breakfast and asked him if he was happy with third. He was telling me yesterday about medical problems that he'd had at the beginning of this season. So yes, he said, I was very happy with my podium place on day 2. Look how quick he is here. 0.87. Well, Barchet and Guimau have pretty much had it their own way the last few months. Maybe Santeri Kiveri's return to health is bad news for the pair of them. 1.53 up on Lindström now. We have a flying Finn, everyone. '18-year-old from Lapinranta. Born with nerve damage to his shoulder, so there's no full range of movement. That's why he tucked his arm into his bib. 1.81 seconds up. That's a good run from Santeri Kiveri from Finland. Thomas Field. First of the Swiss athletes to go, of which of course Theo Guimau is another. Not bad from Thiel, just 0.48 the difference. Can Thiel find a little bit more? No, he's dropped back to 1.82. Demonstrates just how quick Kiveri was. He's wearing a gatepost flag. Is Thomas Field. Souvenirs normally picked up from the shop at the bottom, but Thomas Field collecting one en route. And as he hits the line, Thomas Field just takes a look down at his left wrist. He wasn't wearing that when he started. How did that get there? Well, don't recommend that as a fashion trend.
Now Alexis Guimon from Canada, bib number 30.
Well, I've heard of flag bearers at opening and closing ceremonies, but never have I seen one during an event. Well done, Thomas Fiddle, for giving us a first, but far from first. That run 53.12, Kiveri 49.73. Flag being fixed. Here we are. And there we go. Replacing the broken flag. Have a look back at Thomas Phil through this section. He's got a bit off balance earlier in the run, and just as he comes in here, there it is, blasts his arm right through it. Now that's not an everyday occurrence. So the gate is fixed. Officials at the top just waiting for confirmation that Alexis Guimont can go. So Kiveri leads, bronze on the second day. Is he in a position to take victory on day number 3? Away goes Alexis Guimont, bronze medalist at the Games this time last year. Good on day 2 as well, narrowly missing out on the podium place. Really fighting hard on the course. 0.07. It's nothing if you can find a bit of extra speed. 28.36 is the next time to look out for. The gap grows to 0.34. Can Guimont find something else at the bottom then? 19-year-old, born in Houston, Texas. Suffers with paralysis on his right side. Hitting the line here, 1.22. So the gap grew again towards the bottom of the run. So Kiveri continues to lead. Markus Salka, former overall World Cup Globe winner. Experienced Austrian, 0.27 seconds back. 27 now, Marcus. Got into the sport because his dad was a ski trainer anyway. Works in an airport for the summer months. Hits the line in 52.38, Markus Salka. Now, Theo Guimont was very disappointed with his first run. Oh, on day number 2, and he's got all manner of out of shape. We're used to seeing him using his backside as an assist to stay on the course, but he was all sorts of out of shape a moment ago. Guimont continues though and has closed the gap. That's just how good he is. 0.87 down in the opening intermediate. He's closed that to 0.4. Kiveri, as I mentioned at the beginning though, is putting in runs that are competitive with world and Paralympic champions. This is the man that won the gold 12 months ago, and that's why. Look at the finish. He's gone from 0.87 to 0.4 to being 0.4 up. You can't keep a Paralympic champion down. Here is the World Cup leader. The world champion. 1.19 up. But remember, Guimont had a horrible first sector. Does Balchet find the same line and really turn the screw? No, look at that. That's just how good Theo Guimont's second sector was. Now then, Balchet needs to find the speed on the bottom part. These two talk openly about having a war constantly. At the moment, it's advantage Bauchet, 49.31. Yes, 0.2. Guimeur again will be furious of a mistake in the opening run because that's the part that's cost him. But there's nothing in it. What a great second run that's going to be. Oh, an early exit here. Niko Prijancic has gone straight away. Prijancic having a chat with one of the race controllers at the side. Well, Niko Prijancic goes. In certainly quite odd circumstances. We'll see if we can take a look back at that in a second and figure out what on earth happened. So Prijancic having a chat with the race controller, and I think Prijancic will be allowed to rerun here. I'm not sure what he's pulled up for. Gets past that gate. One of the course workers was still out on the course. There you go. That clears that situation up. And I would imagine that Niko Prijancic will be allowed to rerun. Where and when? Well, that'll be anybody's guess. He's quite near the top. I wouldn't be surprised if he just makes his way up. Notice the look at here. You can see the course worker well. A little bit of a lack of failure to communicate, unfortunately, somewhere along the line, but luckily nobody's hurt. A couple of near misses this week, but that's the sport. It's quick, it's frantic. Arthur Bauchet is the best at it at the moment, but Guimeur just 0.2 behind, and as you say earlier in his run, if he can eradicate that mistake, he would have been well ahead. Kiveri, another good run from him. He's in the mix. And my understanding is we've got a delay now because the wind at the top is actually causing some problems. So the time of this delay is quite unknown at the moment. You can see the Catalan flag blowing away. That's some 400 or 500 metres away from the bottom of the run. Probably not even that far, actually. But the wind causing problems. And we'll see how long it takes to get us back up and running. You saw a moment ago the hashtag for the event. Hashtag Para Alpine. If you want to get in touch, that's what you need to use. Any of the forums, and well, there's Thomas Walsh going back up to the top. He will have been very disappointed to have lost that ski earlier on. So here is Braden Luscombe, single leg skier from Canada. Braden chasing down on Bauchet's time. 1.45. So it's just been confirmed that Niko Prijancic will do a rerun, which is absolutely the right thing to do. Nothing that Prijancic was at fault for. This, however, is Luscombe making his way down. Men's sitting category still to come in the first run here as well, remember. Luscombe just batting aside some of the gates with those outriggers, and he'll get to the line in 55.81. Puts him behind Thomas Field at the moment. Jourdain Brossan. Oh, an improvement in the second section, and Brossan really darting around the course here. Shades of Balchet, and a bit of a shake of the head from Brossan. At one point, something isn't quite right for him, and he'll get to the line in 55.55. Well, he closed the gap from being over 3 seconds behind to 1 and a bit. Oh, it's like a bucking bronco all of a sudden. Hiraku Misawa, single leg skier from Japan. Can he find a little bit of time at the bottom? Just to see if any of the other athletes struggle, just like Brossan did. Not showing it just there, Misawa, so he's a little bit cleaner through this section. 55 or below would put him off the bottom. 6.63 down, 55.74, just into 11th place. So this is Manuel Bodanx, the unlucky recipient of a snapped prosthetic on the opening day. Clearly had some more in his bag. You see the right leg of Manuel, the prosthetic at the bottom, around about where the ankle joint would be, just sheared in half on day one. That's a good run from Bodanx. 54 seconds puts him in 10th position, ahead of his compatriot Brossan. Yeah, Andorra have one representative in this. This is Roger Huig-Davy. He was only a second back at the first intermediate. That's not bad. He's dropped down to 3.3. As I mentioned, Andorra just about an hour or so away. Davy really having to battle. We saw Brossan through this section, giving it the big one. And Davy having his own battles. 55.62, that's 12th place for Davy, but after a brief scare, he'll have been happy to have finished. Oh, an off balance from the very start. Oh, Davide Mendotti has absolutely wiped out the gate. That will have hurt, but he just off balance straight away as he left the start gate and never managed to correct it. Let's have a look back at Mendotti, shall we? Comes out the gate. There's a slip, and that straight away means that he can't manoeuvre around the blue gate. Oh, Mendotti. Now, Kohei Takahashi. Another youngster that's clear aim is improvements towards Beijing, the next home of Winter Paralympic Games. Piancic is up at the start. Oh, Takahashi, big slide, and out. I was going to say Piancic is up at the start waiting to do his rerun. Takahashi won't get a rerun. He is out. Just couldn't find the strength to keep the turn going and get inside the gates. This is Leander Kress from Germany. Down he goes. Chris, 2.3 seconds back at the moment. You see the wind whipping its way through the gates. Chris doing okay at the moment. Again, this is a World Cup debut event for Leander Chris. Completed runs will be the aim of the game. It's going to be well outside the top placings. He goes into 15th. Now this is the rerun for Nico Prijancic, so we can partially expect the top 10 to be affected here. Somebody like Prijancic would expect to be in and around that. He's only 1.3 seconds back. That would actually put him in 4th position. That's a good start for Nico Prijancic. He's obviously put behind him the mishap from earlier, and Prijancic will hit the line in 52 exactly. Puts him in 6th place, just ahead of Marcus Saucher. So good run from Nico Prijancic in the end. Marcus Nilsson Grasto. Not to sound like a broken record, another youngster gaining experience on the World Cup circuit. Marcus travelling with Jesper Pedersen and the rest of the Norwegian coaching staff. Be good to have somebody with the experience of Pedersen to be around. And Grasto gets to the line in 55.45. That puts him in 12th position then, so he's ahead of Brasan, Davi, Musawa, Luskum and Kress. So a good run from the Norwegian in the end. And that's the end of the men's standing event for now. Halfway through, and it is the familiar name Barchet in top spot. Kimmer and Kiveri. That's exactly how we finished on day 2. Is that how we're going to finish on day 3? Run number 2 will tell us. A couple of DNFs. Walsh, Pendotti and Takahashi all going out. This is Arthur Barchet doing what he does best, marauding his way through and hitting the line in front. Now, sitting event. Kampschler, De Langen, Kirker, Pedersen, Oatway, Sikorsky. All Paralympic medalists to go. Oscar Antonio Esparragas is back. So too is Jurne Slivnik from Slovenia. This competition has all been about this man so far, Jeroen Kampschler. A real Dutch delight when it comes to watching the sit ski. Had his error on the opening day, which meant that despite a fantastic run, he couldn't get past Taiki Mori. However, yesterday Kampschler did what we expect and flew down for a victorious time, unscathed, 51.80, and a nod from Jeroen Kampschler. He has enjoyed that, and by that nod we maybe shouldn't expect anyone to knock that time off. So there goes Kampschler. Here's De Langen, picked up his first ever World Cup medal on day 1. He is a World Championship silver medalist. He went out yesterday, or on day 2 should I say. 0.36 the difference so far. 0.86 now. Lost another 5/10 through the second section. Again, using those outriggers to assist the balance and just maneuver them where needed. Bucket seat. These sit skiers being thrown around. 51.80 is going to go. De Langen seeing a competitive time as well, so he moves into second. Andrew Kirker, another former Paralympic champion. This is Jesper Pedersen's event. He was the man that 12 months ago today was winning in Pyeongchang. The familiar Pedersen smile. Andrew Kirker, as I said, Paralympic champion in his own right, the Alaskan, and somebody that knows how to throw a mono ski around at speed, but he's not managed to turn inside the gate, and that is out for Andrew Kirker. It's all about the speed for Andrew. It's all about trying to see how quick he can go on any given course, and he's just overcooked it. And out he goes. Jesper Pedersen. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, the reigning Paralympic champion 1 year ago today. We had one very happy Norwegian. He's made no secret of the health issues he had at the end of Pyeongchang. Took him a while to get right. Problems with his heart. Returned in Zagreb on the World Cup circuit, and that was his first real taste of competitive action as they headed towards the World Championships. He's one of the men that was pushing Camp Sur but couldn't get past. And here he's 1.48 down. Can he find a little bit extra at the bottom to challenge De Langen for second? The lead time's gone. I think Pedersen's going to drop into third here. He is 2.78 back. The Dutch are quick. This is Kurt Oatway. .34-year-old, surrounded by athletes much younger than him, but the Super G Paralympic champion isn't concerned by that, though he's had a tough second section. It was 0.97 down, he's 2.33 down, another big slide a moment ago, and that's an awful lot of momentum lost for Kurt Oatway. It is bumpy out there, to say the least, for these sit skiers. Oatway gets through 4.18 seconds down. Bronze medalist this time last year in Pyeongchang, Igor Sikorsky. Oh, and Sikorsky takes a huge bump. Now he's slid out, but he is inside the course here, so Sikorsky, you can see, trying to keep momentum. And still going, some 4.5 seconds down, but Sikorsky will know that he can get to the bottom and set a time. He's actually gained 1/100th through the second section of the course. That's how quick Sikorsky is trying to go. So if he can try and avoid losing too much time. Oh, Sikorsky really throwing himself into this. Well, he's obviously enjoying the setup of this run. Sikorsky will be well back when it comes to the line, eventually being 5.27. Oh, the frustration is there to see from the Poland sit skier Igor Sikorsky. This is Akira Kano. In fact, no, it's not. It's René Di Silvestro, should I say, bib number 50. And Davide Bondotti and the men standing earlier go out very, very early. Di Silvestro, he's very quick here, 0.17. We've seen some real improvements from Di Silvestro in the last few months. Is he the man to start pressurising Kampsrud? 51.80. Interesting line. He's going to come back in here. Oh, he just gets in. 0.05. That finish was spectacular. Somehow, despite being in the air, he's managed to get his monoski inside the gate. Good finish from the Italian. This is Akira Kano. Already 1.17 down. 4 seconds now for Kano. Still 8 more athletes to come after this. 32-year-old Kano isn't finding the line through this course that many before him have, and he shoots across at 58.60, which is nearly 7 seconds back on the lead time. Kvartahover. 29.60 is the time for Kampsrud through this section. 2.19 down is the Austrian. Well, I said at the end of Kampsrud's run, I wasn't sure whether he'd be displaced. He was very confident about his run. Di Silvestro has come closer than anybody else. That's a fact. And we do still have the winner from day one, Taiki Mori, to come, but Kvartahover already gone by the 51.80. He'll hit the line in 55.09. That's 5th place for Kvartahover. Crashed out on day one. Now, what a day one it was for the 38-year-old. And you talk to a sit skier about their sport, 9 times out of 10, they'll talk to you about this man and what he's done for the men's sitting division, how good he is, how good he still is. And he showed us on day one. He said to Stephen Jameson in his interview that he hadn't been going well and he's really enjoying the Mountaineer. Well, he's just 2 100ths down at the second intermediate. Di Silvestro was only 0.5 out at the line. Can Mori give us more to think about? 51.80. This is going to be tight. Mori into the final gate. Oh, 1.4. What a top three this is. 14/10 of a second separating the top three. Don't miss the second run. This is Alex Cairns from Canada out on course. Five more to come after Cairns. Already we're licking our lips at the anticipation and the quality of the second run of the men's sit ski event. Can Cairns put himself in contention? Because with the competition being that tight, the chances of DNFs are quite high. And just as I say that, that's exactly what we get. Alex Cairns hitting a bump as he tries to make a turn. It takes him very, very wide. There's John Clark, part of the Great Britain team. First question, are you all right? Yes, I am. No problem. Murat Pelli, Switzerland's sit skier. Pelli dropping into shot. And, driving into the turns. Kampsrud's time, 29.60 at that point. 2.8 down is Pelli. 36 now. Pelli into the final few gates then. At the line, it's 57.51. It's inside the top 10 for Pelli. 9th position for him. Now Floris Meyer, the third of the Dutch contingent. Currently first and fourth. Floris seems to be improving throughout this season, the 29-year-old. He accrued his impairment after a freestyle skiing accident back in 2012, so this sport still fairly new to him. Competed as an able-bodied skier at international level. In his youth. Meyer hits the line 59.62. This is Jerne Slivnik. Slivnik treated like a celebrity when we went to Kranjska Gora for the World Championships. The president even came to watch. The Slovenians out in force to cheer on Slivnik, who went to Pyeongchang as well. Here, he'll drop into 11th position, 7.49.
Is the 11th position now, 59 seconds, point 29.
This is Oscar Antonio Espalhagas Juarez. 36 years of age, and a big slide out of day number 3. A smile on the face of Espalhagas, and the Spaniard won't be joining us for run number 2. Now look back at the problems for the Spaniard. Just trying to make this turn into a right-hander, and it just got away from him. Overcooked the back end, and out of day number 3 he goes. So still should be one more left to come. Luc Percival. I mentioned the other day an interesting story of an insect bite that went wrong. What was first thought a harmless bite led to full paraplegia, the loss of his eyesight, the loss of his voice. As things have returned, Lou is now gracing Huz with his time and appearance out here on the World Cup circuit. Every athlete has their story. The more we learn about these athletes, the more we respect each and every one of them, no matter where their finishing position on the leaderboard. Here's Rastagan's third run. He's finished on each occasion, so no DNFs in his debut event. That's what he'll be looking for. Keep improving. And Luc Percival looks to be finishing again. Not just finishing, that's good. 8th position. That's a good run from Lou. Yeah, he's happy. Well psyched. Luc Percival has found himself ahead of Paralympic medalists there. He's in 8th position. No surprise at the top end. Campseur is there, but look at second. René Di Silvestro flew across the line at the end. 51.85. Heikki Mori, 51.94. The top three separated by 0.14. Make sure you don't miss the second run. Niels de Langen, Jesper Pedersen, Marcus Gratahofer, Kurt Oatway, Luc Percival, Sikorsky and Pelly is the top 10. Kano, Slivnik and Maya finished the first run as well. A few DNFs. Kirke, Kens and Espriagas Juarez will not join us for the second run. We'll take a look back at some replays in a moment. This is Igor Sikorsky's bounce a little earlier. He did keep it going and finished in 9th position. It's this man, though, that leads the World Cup. He leads the first run. Can anybody challenge him? Well, it's closer than it has been in previous occasions. Join us again this afternoon to see if Campseur will continue to be king of the mountain, or have we got a crown for someone else? Join us for the second run. The racing starts at 11:30 local time. But for now, goodbye.
Yes, actually now it's 10 o'clock. So it means that now we'll have a 1 hour and a half break before we start the second run. In a few minutes we will also announce the report by the referee about the first run to know if